A while back I picked up a partially sporterized German issue Czechoslovakian made Bruno, B-R-N-O, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but what is it, a G33/40, which was issued to, as I understand it, with my little bit of research I did, was issued mainly to the mountain troops and had a special stock on it. Of course, this one was sporterized, so don't have a issue stock with it. But it was issued to mountain troops, had special stock with a extra butt plate on it, a whole bunch of different things you can read about them. But what I wanted to show you here today is the difference actually in the action from the G3340 as compared to the Mauser 98K. So let's take a little closer look at it here. So this was a shorter rifle than the regular issue Mauser 98, and I know I pulled the camera in here, but you can look here once. That's a regular 98K Mauser barrel. You can see there's different step-offs and stuff there for making the barrel a little bit lighter towards the end. And then this here is actually a carbine length barrel, and you can see there's no step-offs, and it's actually a thinner barrel all the way up here to the muzzle. And it actually does show that it's a little bit thinner there. Also, too, on the end, the sight base, on the front sight base, the regular issue one has a external sleeve that's put over top, soldered into place and screwed over here. I think there's a small screw in there, and then the dovetail sight goes into there. The Czechoslovakian made G3340 has, as far as I can tell, it actually might be a sleeve over the top. Either that or it's actually milled into the front. There's a slight line there, although that could be a line from the milling machine. So anybody have any information on that, let me know and I'll put it in the comments. But again, it's actually a smaller base, and then again it has the dovetail, and I think even the dovetail smaller too. So everything is geared towards less weight. And like I said, this one here came to me sporterized, so they had removed the rear sight base and put on a sporter sight base up here. So definitely decreased the value of the rifle. However, these are still very valued for making into hunting rifles because they're lighter. Same reason that the Germans wanted to have a lighter rifle to carry up mountains and issue to their paratroopers. Also applies for people who want to drag their rifles up mountains and other places where they don't want to carry the extra weight. So anyways, let's take a quick look at the differences. Now, one of the other things here is the bolt. Let me get this guy out. I'll do it cross-hand because I'm in front of the camera. And this guy out. Now, I had thought that the bolts were actually a different size between these before I got this action. But it turns out, as far as I can tell, they're exactly the same as far as the operational portion of the bolt, which is up in here that goes into the rifle, because I can swap these bolts back and forth and not a problem. Safeties and everything are the same. 3-position, left is fire, up is on safe, but you can remove the bolt, and all the way to the right is actually on fire, or I'm sorry, on safe and locking the bolt. So a very good feature to have in the field so your bolt doesn't keep them getting caught on things and knocked open. The main thing, or the only thing that I see in the bolts for weight savings, was actually this cool little milling feature here in the back of the bolt. And you can see it doesn't actually show up until you actually open up the bolt. And look, so they milled out that little bit of metal there, and a little bit here, a little bit there, and you end up having a lighter rifle. But I think that's really cool. It really looks like a nice job that they did that. It looks more like a, almost like on a sporter level of actually finishing with this rifle. So, and again, this was made, it's a G3340, and this particular rifle actually was made in 1940. Take a little look here at this action here, and see there's the code for the Czechoslovakian factory, which is Brno, B-R-N-O, I believe. And you can see it's made in 1940, which is cool. So it's first year of production. Now taking a look here, you can see that this guy here has lightning cuts in it. And actually before that too, if you look, the mountain rifle actually has a smaller diameter receiver here, which the Mausers generally come in 2 different options, which is a large ring and a small ring. Small rings were standard early on in their production, and then they went to the larger ring for a little extra strength. And you can see on this rifle here, one of the easy ways to tell a large ring Mauser is this step off here that comes off of here and actually down to the sidewall here. Now this one, you can actually see a step off there, but if you look closely at it, like down in this area here, you can see there is no, see there's a step off here. Get it closer. So step off here, but no step off down here. And if you look closely, what they actually did was, this normally would have come out across here straight. They milled out that little extra piece of metal there. That, what is it, like 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters or something there. And they ended up with just a slightly smaller sidewall. Again, a little bit of metal taken out, a little less weight. And of course, this guy here is probably the most obvious one here. There's this huge milling mark all the way down here, where you can see the metal is still there in the regular Mauser 98, 98K action. So again, a few grams maybe that they lost there. And flip it over, and sure enough, another milling cut on this side. So all of that added up, ended up saving them some weight. Now, with barrel on and stuff, I can't actually measure it to find out how much difference is in the weight. If somebody knows, let me know, and I'll put that in the comments as well. Another change in the action was actually up here on the top. Now with this lighting, it's a little hard to see. But you can see that this here, the stripper clip bridge, which is put on here to put in the cartridges 5 at a time, is actually milled out a little bit more than that one. Again, just a couple grams difference, but overall, well, I used to race bicycles, just amateur level, very amateur level, and I used to be always counting grams on components, and little gram here, a little gram there, a few grams here, a few grams there. It would add up to a pound or so later on. So it does make a difference. Another thing, I think this is the last thing I've got for a difference, is the trigger bow. Now this is a typical German one, which is fine, but military, you know, they milled out what they needed to, and ended up just, you know, it's just a trigger guard for a military rifle. But you can see this one here, it has extra cutouts here on the bottom. This bow actually is a little bit thinner as well. And all of it, again, is just to save a tiny bit of weight. But also, like I said before, one of the reasons these actions are rare is that people wanted to make them, especially after World War II, before these became collectible, wanted to make them into a lighter sporting rifle. And so a lot of these actions were taken, the barrel was taken off, and they put it in whatever caliber they wanted to do, and you had a slightly lighter Mauser action. And actually, I mean, a lot of the things make it look nicer too. So you get a couple extra little, you know, angles and stuff here, and the trigger bow is definitely nicer. So those are the differences that I see with this action. I just thought that it would be cool, since I have never actually held one before until I got this one, that I could put this up and other people could see what the differences are. Because I thought, well, a couple of the things I thought were probably incorrect. One of the things I think I read in one of the old books about sporterizing them was, I think that it has a large diameter threading for the barrel, but a small diameter receiver here. So I'll have to look into that. But so now my question is whether I should restore the rifle, you know, buy a new sight base on here. Now I always have those 2 screw holes there. Now they don't go all the way through, fortunately, so they didn't ruin the barrel. But the idea is whether or not to put on a new sight base. Now those are the only screw holes, and they'll actually be underneath the wood line, and actually get wood for this particular rifle. Now once you make it up, unfortunately, it always is going to have a mismatched stock for the rifle. So I don't know. The other option is actually take it to a gunsmith and have it made up into a really nice sporter. But I don't know. I have a hard time actually thinking about drilling holes in this, because this is such a cool looking receiver and a cool looking rifle. So anyways, maybe you can help me decide on what to do with it. So write in the comments if you think I should restore it, or if you think I should actually make it up as a sporter. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, and the other thing was, too, I wanted to tell you, this is an all-matching rifle, too. So the receiver, that, I think parts back here, and the floor plate and everything matches. So it is a matching rifle. It would be nice to make it up as an original rifle, and it also would be nice to make it up as a sporter. So anyways, yeah, let me know what you think, and help me decide. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and out.